YouTubers, you need to listen up. You are under attack from hackers. Thousands upon thousands of YouTubers have gotten their accounts hacked in the last couple of months. If you want to know how these hackers are doing it and how to protect yourself, then you definitely want to watch this video and subscribe, because I am making a 3-part video series to expose the most common hacks that are occurring today. All right, let's do this, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's John Masterly, helping all you fellow YouTubers to level up like a boss. Now, this whole issue of YouTubers, big and small, getting hacked recently is getting out of hand. It just seems like it's getting worse and worse with each successive month. And this has become top of mind for a lot of YouTubers because of recent spam bot attacks. Now, some good news and bad news regarding these spam bot attacks. The bad news, of course, is that these spam bots are proliferating. They're everywhere. Chances are you got a comment from someone named Bananarama or Logan or Traptown or Silixir or Vaxi, Tom, Viducer. It doesn't matter. And it seems like a lot because a lot of them are changing their names constantly or new ones are cropping up. And what this has done is created some fear among YouTubers that they're getting hacked, because a lot of these spam bots accounts are spamming people from hacked accounts that once belonged to somebody else and were taken over. And people try to put one and one together and created the wrong impression that if you just reply to these comments, you will get hacked.
But it quickly dawned on me how much more sinister this situation was. Thousands of people have lost their entire channels from this one innocent comment.
Well, I'm here to clear up and say that that is not the case.
Today's video is all about a potential hacker running around YouTube, one that could steal your account just by simply interacting.
I actually made a whole separate video about this that goes into detail. So if you want to understand how that works, go watch that video. But in this video, what I want to do is expose what is the likely scenario of how someone is getting hacked. Now, I think there are 3 likely scenarios in terms of how people are getting hacked. So I want to make 3 separate videos that go into each one because I really want to dig deep into how these work. Now, the thing to realize is that YouTube is not the only platform out there that is suffering from these hacks. Every second of our existence, over 70 records of accounts are being stolen. And this is across every platform you can think of, from banks to retailers, Netflix, Walmart, just about every major company seems to have been hacked these days. And it's no wonder, because these cyber criminals are making over $600 billion from their activities. I mean, just to put that into perspective now, the legal drug trade only generates $400 some billion in money every single year. So yes, hacking will get worse. So today I want to talk about this particular method that a lot of people are falling victim to, including someone like myself. All right, one method that hackers are using to gain access to a YouTube account is through apps and browser extensions. The gist of it is that you download an app or a browser extension, and then at some point, they're able to use the information that you provided to then hack into your account. And this could be done through either OAuth token spoofing or just you providing the information directly. Let's talk about apps here. Now, people download apps all the time, whether from their desktop or their mobile apps. Mobile, as an example, has 2 major ecosystems that I'm sure many of you know about. There's Apple's ecosystem and there's Google's Android ecosystem. Now, if I were to be honest, most of the malicious stuff that's out there is on Google's Android system. And that's because Apple tends to have a very closed ecosystem. They are very strict about the kind of apps that go into their storefront and about double checking things and even removing apps that they feel like breaches people's trust. This does result in a safer ecosystem for most people who uses Apple's App Store. But when it comes to Google's Android system, oh boy, you talk about a can of worms here. Because it's an open ecosystem, it's a lot more fragmented, which means that it's a lot easier for malicious app developers to get their apps out on the storefront. Google doesn't have that strict of a process of getting your app approved. In fact, recently on Forbes, they listed out over 100 malicious apps have already been downloaded with about 5 million downloads. And I'm sure there's a lot more than that. I mean, here's an example. There was an app out there called the Best Fortune app. It answers all of life's mysteries. Very clever. By just using an app, you can figure out when you will find true love or when you're going to get that next promotion. Oh, you know, the kind of things that make you so curious that you know you have to download the app. In fact, over 200,000 people did download the app. And what ended up happening? Well, it served up malicious software and also fake ads. By just clicking on these ads, you're being taken to these websites that have not been validated. And sure enough, these websites were collecting your information without you knowing it. Now, there's a whole nother way that these malicious app developers can get access to your YouTube account. Now, I don't know if you use apps like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, but a lot of YouTubers do. In essence, what these companies do is provide services where they can give you a lot of extra stats that YouTube doesn't provide and give you a lot of extra features to help you level up as a YouTuber. But the thing is that for these apps to work, you have to give them access to your YouTube account. Now, I can say that vidIQ and TubeBuddy are pretty safe because they're pretty big companies and they're well respected, but a lot of YouTubers do download apps from unknown sources and they're giving these apps access to their YouTube account. I mean, here's a good example. There is a couple apps out there that provides a very simple service for small YouTubers. What it does is tracks how many hours people have watched your videos and how many subscribers you have. And what it'll do is track a trajectory in terms of your growth and give you an estimate of when you can start monetizing. And when you're a small YouTuber, that's all you care about. I, in fact, have downloaded one of these apps before, and I actually did find it really useful for a while. But then I thought to myself, what did I actually do here? Did I give an unknown program access to my YouTube account just so that it could give me some additional data? So as you can imagine, I eventually did delete that app and avoided downloading apps like this in the future. But there are still other ways for these malicious developers to get access to your account. Let's talk about browser extensions as an example. And these browsers have gone through multiple updates and security enhancements, but there are browser extensions out there that actually try to circumvent these security measures. I actually used one of these browser extensions before. You see, I'm a YouTube reactor as well, and I have another channel that has 100,000 subscribers, and I make reaction videos to all sorts of things. So for me, it's really important to be able to download these videos so that I can edit them all together. And I found a browser extension that made it very easy to do that. But as I was going through the process of getting the browser extension up and running, it started to give me instructions of how to turn off security features. These are security features that are basically giving the app developer level access to be able to change the code. Now, as someone who knows how to code, as someone who's familiar with this, I said, all right, well, let's give this a shot. Let's see what actually happens. And what I found out was that for the most part, the app actually did exactly what it said it was going to do. But as I was going back to use Google search, I started to notice something fishy, that some of my search results are pulling up very unusual stuff. And what I had discovered was that this browser extension had hijacked my search. It pulled up search results for things that it wanted to promote. Now imagine how dangerous this is, because what this browser extension can do is serve up a link to what you think might be, let's say, a YouTube video. And you're going to YouTube, and let's say you log in. Well, you're now logging into a fake YouTube website that is phishing for your information. And then boom, right then and there, it's just gained access to your account because you put it in. All of these things are happening now today. And as you can see, even someone like me who has a background in developing software as a product manager, as someone who has worked on security features, I was willing to still take a chance because I wanted something on the other side. And they know this. They know how to pull your strings. They know who is susceptible. And that's how people fall victim. All right, so how can you protect yourself for this particular form attack? Well, the first thing you need to do is to go to this URL here below. This is a Google account security checkup. And what this will do is check a number of different things on your account to see how secure you are. You want to do this for both your typical Google account and if you have a separate branded YouTube account to check on that as well. Now, there's two things I want you to do here, right? One is to double check what types of apps out there already have access to your account to make sure that there's nothing here that's suspicious that you don't recognize. And then second, make sure you set up two-factor or two-step authentication. This will ensure that if anything does happen to your account, someone gains access, you will get notified by your cell phone or by your email so that you could do something about it. Two-step authentication isn't a guarantee that you can't be hacked, but it is much, much safer. Now, the other thing you can do to protect yourself is, of course, just avoid downloading and using these apps that are asking for access to your different accounts. And these apps will oftentimes get access to your accounts, like from your Instagram to your YouTube account to your Facebook account. And you know, if you really want to take that chance, I can't stop you, but ultimately you should definitely double check the validity of these accounts. There are big companies out there like Hootsuite or vidIQ or TubeBuddy that you can generally trust because they're industry standards. But if they're smaller developers, you need to Google them up first to just double check that there's anything fishy about it. The other thing you could do is just avoid downloading apps from third-party websites that you don't know anything about. go to trusted sources to download your apps. And I realize that when it comes to Google Android, well, the Google Android storefront is supposed to be a trusted storefront, and yet a lot of malware still ends up on there. So this is still no guarantee. I'm just saying be careful of any sort of websites that you just don't recognize. And of course, don't be like me. Don't follow through on instructions for an app that asks you to turn off security features. Because even though only my search experience was hijacked, I shouldn't even say only, because right then and there, that was already the sure sign that someone could have, boom, gained access to my account. So yes, shame on me. This is definitely one of the most popular ways hackers are getting access to your account. There are two other methods that I think are used very often, so make sure you subscribe, because what I will do is share with you how these hackers are doing it in future videos coming up soon.